Hello and welcome to the fourth session in the Into Action Professional Learning series on writing. My name's Elaine McHenry and I'm a member of the Inspire Learning team and I'll take you through today's session. Today's session, Developing Skills for Writing Paragraph Level, builds on the sentence level content of session 3 where we looked at explicitly teaching the skills of sentence writing and how it's an essential part of our learners becoming capable writers. Once we have learners confident in appropriate sentence structure skills according to the levels within our progression pathway, the next step is applying those skills to create a more extended piece of writing. The QR code on the screen will take you to a supporting resource file which you will find useful as we go through the session and back in your classroom. Pause the video here and take some time to scan the code ready to access the resources when they're required. Continue when you're ready. The aims of today's session is to introduce the single paragraph outline, or SPO for short, as a structure for writing and along the way familiarise ourselves with the content of the SVCW paragraph level progression pathway. We'll look at ways we can scaffold SPO in the classroom and introduce a multiple paragraph outline to support extended writing. Finally, we'll take a look at how using an unelaborated paragraph can improve sentence level skills, leading to an overall improvement in writing. As with the structure of past sessions, we aim to make the sessions as interactive as possible, with core input, opportunities for dialogue and reflection, and some supporting tasks leading to new learning. We often ask and expect our learners to write in paragraphs, but have we ever stopped to consider what makes a good paragraph? Pause the video here and take some time to discuss and produce the 6 main ingredients of a good paragraph. Share your thoughts into the room and continue when you're ready. So, what does make a good paragraph? A good paragraph should have a clear topic sentence. The paragraph should begin with a topic sentence that introduces the main idea or point, followed by supporting detail, providing evidence, examples or explanations that back up the main idea, making the argument or topic more convincing and complete. Unity. The paragraph should stay focused on the topic introduced in the first sentence. All the sentences should contribute to the main idea. Then, of course, we need coherence and flow. The sentences should be logically connected to one another, ensuring a smooth flow of ideas. Transitional words or phrases may help maintain clarity. A concluding sentence. End with a closing sentence that summarises the main idea or provides a transition to the next paragraph. And of course, the tools for writing. Punctuation, grammar and presentation all work together to create a good paragraph. Pause here and take some time to look at the paragraph. Does it fit the criteria of a good paragraph? Could it be improved in any way? Share your thoughts into the room and continue when you're ready. Teaching the structure of a paragraph using the single paragraph outline, or SPO, provides a scaffold for learners to follow, lessening cognitive load by providing a structure of what to write where. It provides an opportunity to put into practice sentence building skills and helps learners stay focused on the topic. One of the main benefits of SPO is that it helps eliminate repetition and helps to focus attention on essential information, creating a more precise, less rambly paragraph. Use the QR code on the screen to take a look at the paragraph writing section of our SVC Way progression pathway to see what the expectations are for your stage. Across early level, sentence structure and writing remains the focus, but the steps to create and use an SPO can be teacher modelled. Remember, you don't need to write to be writing. Pause the video here and take some time to have a look and continue when you're ready. There are several steps to building a paragraph outline, all of which it is necessary to model, with lots of I do, we do, before getting to the you do. Before we begin creating our SPO, we need to think TAP, topic, audience, purpose. Once these 3 aspects have been decided and made clear, we can begin our SPO. The first step is to either provide or create with the learners a topic sentence. One straightforward sentence that introduces the topic of the paragraph. The next step is to elicit the supporting detail. In the beginning, this can be provided, but as learners become more familiar and confident with the SPO, it can be done in groups or as individuals. Mind maps and spider diagrams are really useful tools to help gather detail. Once detail has been gathered, take time, if appropriate, to group it into categories. This helps with the flow of the paragraph and to keep the content focused. Use the SPO planner to create the outline. We'll look at this in more detail shortly. And finally, co-create a concluding sentence, a short sentence to bring the paragraph to an end. With older writers, this could include a transition to the next paragraph. In this example, you can see the topic is winter, the audience, someone who has never experienced it, and the purpose to describe the features of winter. The topic sentence in this example has been provided as a question to prompt thinking around gathering supporting detail. In this case, the supporting detail has been collected through creating a list of learners' ideas. Possible groupings have been identified and the ideas sorted appropriately. So your paragraph plan has been created, and finally, a concluding sentence has been added. The ideas from the mind map list are then transferred onto the SPO outline, an essential step to supporting paragraph writing. In the supporting resource file, there is both the Writing Revolution outline and an SBC Way version. Both are equally acceptable to use. When using the SPO plan, it is important to remember that a solid line indicates a full punctuated sentence, like the topic and concluding sentence. The dotted lines indicate notes or detail from the gathering exercise. The outline can then be used to create the paragraph, with the topic sentence copied exactly from the plan and the supporting details turned into sentences, with the learners applying their skills from the sentence level. In this case, the use of coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions as sentence openers, and finish with the concluding sentence being copied directly from the plan. It's worth mentioning here that creating the SPO is a skill in itself and should be the focus of the teaching, so it's not necessary that all paragraph outlines need to be turned into a full paragraph. Creating an SPO, whilst not something Primary 1 learners would be asked to do independently, is something that could be modelled to our younger learners as a foundation on which to build further writing experience. Pause the video here and give some consideration to the single paragraph outline. What do you see as its benefits? What challenges might arise? Share your thoughts into the room and continue when you're ready. Creating an SPO can at first seem quite daunting. There are several scaffolding exercises that you may want to develop first with your learners to build up understanding, confidence and skill before they set off independently. Throughout this video, we'll hear more about each step and have the opportunity to put ourselves into our learners' shoes and try some out. Within the classroom, the best practice comes from the adult in the room, teacher modelling, not just Blue Peter style using a prepared example, but in that live modelling that I say, we say, you say, or I do, we do, you do. Learners benefit from hearing your spoken thought process and when coming to work independently, imitate what they see and hear the adult do. The first scaffold activity is to ask learners to identify a topic sentence from given detail and then ask them to sequence the remaining detail sentences. This can be done using images or text and can work well across all curricular areas. Pause the video here and take a few minutes to look at these sentences. Identify the topic sentence, sequence the detail sentences, and then create a concluding sentence. Share your thoughts across the room and continue when you're ready. You should end up with a paragraph something like this. The topic sentence introduces the Hoffman method as a scaffolded approach to writing, and the detailed sentences are now in a logical order, creating flow to the paragraph, and a concluding sentence to sum it up. When it comes to creating a paragraph outline on the outline scaffold, you will notice solid and dotted lines. On our own SBC model, the lines go round the boxes. Solid for full sentences, the green boxes, and dotted for sentence detail, the orange boxes. The solid lines at the top and bottom indicate topic sentence and concluding sentence, and are the only full sentences to be written in the outline. The dotted lines indicate space for the detail to be included in the paragraph in note form. This format runs throughout all the paragraph outline scaffolds that you will see. The task here is to select appropriate detail from a list. You can see in all three examples that the topic sentence is written in full on the solid line and the supporting detail is in note form on the dotted lines. This scaffolded activity can be made practical by using images or text to sort appropriate detail and eliminate irrelevant details. As an extension for more capable learners, the irrelevant detail from the first topic sentence can be used to create a second paragraph with a new topic sentence. The next step is to provide the detail, again from any curricular area, and learners are asked to create the topic sentence. Given a topic sentence, to write the detail can be quite tricky. Learners need to have some facts or background knowledge to be able to do this, so time invested in modelling and an exploratory talk to share ideas for possible detail to include is time well spent. Supporting details can come from a class-generated list put into categories, from providing cues or handy hints of what detail could be, or from transition words. Pause the video here and put yourself in your learner's shoes. Take some time to create the paragraph detail for the topic sentence. Dogs make great pets. Remember, at this stage it's just notes you are creating, indicated by the dotted lines on this paragraph outline. The only complete sentence in the plan should be the topic sentence and the concluding sentence. Continue when you're ready. At this stage, it is only an outline of what will be included in the paragraph, and as has already been said, it's not always necessary to turn every paragraph outline into a complete paragraph. A more complex second level example might be based on a text, with learners creating an outline to answer a more in-depth comprehension question. Before getting to this stage, lots of discussion and collecting of ideas and modelling would have gone on beforehand to support learners by providing possible detail to include in their outline. It is an important part of paragraph outline that learners develop the skills of being able to create their own topic sentences. Topic sentences can be created in three ways. From sentence types, thinking back to the sentence level session when we looked at sentence types of statement, question, explanation or command. A topic sentence could be any one of these four types. Subordinating conjunctions can be used to create a topic sentence, going from the simple coordinating conjunctions before, after, if, when across first level, to the more complex since, even though, for example, across second level. The writing progression pathway will identify the subordinating conjunctions that can be used at each level. Across second level, an appositive, a noun phrase placed next to another noun to add more detail, can be added to a topic sentence. Concluding sentences can be created in the same way. Read the sentences and decide how each type were created. Was it by using sentence type, subordinating conjunction, or by adding an appositive? Sentence 1 is of course created using the subordinating conjunction since. Sentence 2 with an appositive, with the appositive being an advocate for the education of children, and sentence 3 asking a question to create the topic sentence. Pause the video here and put yourself into your learner's shoes. Given the topic, health benefits of water, create a topic sentence, one starting with a sentence type, one with a subordinating conjunction, and one that includes an appositive. Share your ideas into the room and continue when you're ready. The next step from this is to create a topic or concluding sentence when given the detail. Learners are presented with sentence details and asked to create the topic or concluding sentence. Again, this is a tricky thing to do, so learners will benefit from lots of modelling and from having the opportunity to engage in exploratory talk to help formulate their own ideas and to hear those of others. It is also useful for the adult to have an anticipated response in mind so that they can guide the learners towards what might be the expectation. Take a few minutes to look at the sentence detail for the 2 paragraph outlines below and create a topic sentence. For the first one, on Charlie Bucket, a possible topic sentence could be, Charlie Bucket is a main character in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. And our other, on evacuees, the topic sentence could be a question, why were children evacuated from cities during World War II? Pause the video here and before we take a break, give some consideration to the single paragraph outline scaffolding activities we've looked at so far. Which jump out as being most useful and which ones might prove to be a bit more challenging? Share your thoughts with colleagues and continue when you're ready. Deconstructing a paragraph is another useful activity to develop skills in identifying topic and concluding sentences and recognising detail. It also provides the opportunity for learners to see and analyse the order or sequence of a paragraph and how it flows. It is an opportunity to identify how sentence level skills are applied by looking out for a variety of sentence openers, coordinating and subordinating conjunctions, transitions and appositives. Pause the video here and work with a partner. One person scan the QR code on the left. This will take you to an example paragraph. The other scan the QR code on the right and this will take you to the SPO outline scaffold. Highlight in green the topic sentence and the concluding sentence. Underline the sentence details and highlight in yellow any coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions or appositives that you may see. Create the single paragraph outline. Continue when you're ready. Your highlighted paragraph should look like this, and your SPO should look like this. Notice the full sentences on the solid line and the notes, the detail, on the dotted lines. Also, just as a reminder to early level Primary 1 colleagues, all these activities can be teacher modelled to Primary 1, building a solid foundation on which they can build on as they move through school towards becoming independent writers. Now that we've gone through what an SPO is and looked at ways it can be taught and scaffolded in the classroom, the task is now to create your own single paragraph outline following the steps. The QR code will take you to an outline scaffold. The topic sentence has been provided, so take some time to do this and then continue when you are ready. Your categorised notes might end up looking something like this, and your final SPO something like this. Remember, not all SPOs need to end up as a complete paragraph. The learning is in the ability to create the single paragraph outline. It's also important to remember that a single paragraph outline can be used to plan writing across all areas of the curriculum when a written response is required. When you're ready to begin again, you'll see a short video explaining how we move forward from SPO to multiple paragraph writing. This can be used across second level to create pieces of extended writing and can be used with other scaffolds such as the point, example, evidence or the P chain, which are already used in some schools.
This year we have learned how to plan and write a single paragraph. By now, you already know how to use an SPO or single paragraph outline to form an introduction, write your ideas for details, and form a conclusion. You also know how to use the information from your SPO to create a paragraph. This is an MPO. MPO stands for multi-paragraph outline. An MPO has 4 distinctive places to put down your thoughts and ideas. You will use these ideas to create paragraphs in your essay. Notice that the introduction and conclusion will be their own paragraphs. With 2 detailed paragraphs between them. An MPO also has more dotted lines. Remember, dotted lines don't need to be complete sentences. Instead, you only need to write down simple thoughts and ideas with page numbers to help you cite any text evidence. Now that you understand more about what an MPO is, see if you can use one to write your own multi-paragraph essay.
Once learners are confident and able to create an SPO independently and have had sufficient practice at turning an SPO into a complete paragraph, you can introduce the multiple paragraph outline of the MPO within second level. Like the SPO, its purpose is to guide learners in sequencing and content ordering, only this time in an extended piece of writing. It helps to avoid repetition and irrelevant detail within the writing. Some top tips to support the MPO include, as ever, always model. Let learners hear and see your thought processes. Be sure learners are confident creating an SPO and can complete paragraph from the outline before tackling the MPO. Take time to teach and develop research and note-taking skills. Prior knowledge, information is an essential. Learners need something to write about. Fits in well with point, explain, example. And remember, not every MPO needs to become a complete piece of writing. Note-taking is an important element of multi-paragraph outline, helping learners to create text using their own words. Teaching simple note-taking skills develops learners' ability to distinguish between essential and non-essential information, helping them to absorb and retain that information. Comprehension and understanding is boosted through note-taking, as learners have the opportunity to break information down into memorable pieces. There are many ways to support note-taking in the classroom, including graphic organisers, sentence stems, highlighting, and using digital tools to either write or record. The important thing to remember here, though, is no matter what strategy or technique you're going to use, the best practice comes from the adult in the room. Learners need to see and hear these processes modelled and allowed time to practice. Note-taking is a difficult, complex skill, but one that's worth investing time in. Now, just a quick reminder from Kirsty as to what digital tools can be used to support writing.
So in terms of using the digital tools at first and second level, again, you could make use of the camera app to take photos of letters in their environment, either in the class or outdoors, of a particular phoneme or grapheme. So actually in early years we were looking at words and familiar signs, whereas actually when you get that step further, maybe you're looking at phonemes and graphemes. This can then you can turn these pictures into a collage or a video montage on clips to share their learning to a wider audience. And it can be a teacher that puts this together, or you could get the pupils to do that as a learning activity themselves. You can also use Keynote or Pages. These are the Apple equivalent to PowerPoint and Word. So either on a Keynote slide or on a Pages document, you could display the text of the phoneme and grapheme on it. And then within that document, you can add a voice recording of the teacher saying the sounds so that pupils know how to pronounce it correctly when they see it. You could even put a video so that they can watch how the teacher's mouth is formed as they say the word as well. You can use the Pages app, which is again for to create their own handwriting and spelling aid. You can create a document with an inbuilt animations of how to form the letters. You could record audio alongside that so the child can hear, but also you can give them the opportunity to record their own audio and add their own voice and sound next to that phoneme and grapheme. You can add pictures, video, etc., etc. So a range of tools available. You can also use the markup feature on several different apps. So you can mark up text to show a specific phoneme or grapheme. So you could do that in Shobi. I don't know if you've used the markup tools in Shobi, the annotation tools there, and you could highlight using that. The Photos app again has a markup function, or on the Pages app, Keynote, the Notes app, or in your files, you can use the pen tool, the markup tool, and highlight or just use the general pens on those to just highlight the phonemes and graphemes. If you're using Caligo, you can use Caligo to practice handwriting of the chosen phonemes and graphemes, as well as the wider literacy activities available on the app too, such as spelling and the circle the correct answer exercise is a good one too. Lastly, Microsoft Reading Coach is a tool that enables children to read text and practice individual words within that text that they read. So students read a passage out loud, and then Reading Coach will highlight 5 words they mispronounced or missed out, and then it will give them independent practice on these words. You can customize it so that the child can use different tools to practice with the words. They can play the word out loud, they can stretch the word so they can see the different parts of the word, and they can also see a picture that represents the word as well. From the teacher account, you can afterwards then see information such as what words the child actually mispronounced, and then the ones that they practiced, how many times they practiced it, what tools they used to help them, so whether it was the stretching the word or using the picture. You get an accuracy rate and much more. So it's a really rich digital tool to support learners with their reading. You can find a wealth of short demo videos that show you how you can use digital technology to support learning in your classroom on the Inspire Learning YouTube channel. But if you'd also like in-person support with these features, do get in touch with the CLPL team or your Cluster Inspire support teacher for more information.
The note-taking scaffolds are themselves not level specific and can be used across and within levels. The complexity of the sentences or paragraphs from which the notes have to be taken provide the distinction between levels. One note-taking scaffold task is to ask learners to highlight or underline key words or phrases from a sentence, usually the who, where, when, what. Take a few minutes to identify what you would expect the learners to highlight or underline. It's always worth having in mind an anticipated response should information need to be clarified or misconceptions addressed. Your expected responses would be something like this. In this activity, the learners are supplied with the notes and tasked with creating a sentence. Again, think about what your anticipated response would be. Learners might come up with a sentence something like, electricity is a form of energy resulting from the flow of electrons and can power devices such as lights and televisions. In this activity, the reverse of the previous, the learners are supplied with a sentence and tasked with breaking it down into note form. Again, think about what your anticipated response would be. From sentence 1, it's hoped that learners would pick out the words artefact and man-made, and from sentence 2, the important information would be artefact, Roman times, new understanding, and life was like. The last thing to look at to support paragraph writing is the unelaborated paragraph, a bare bones piece of writing that learners can improve by applying their sentence level skills. Unelaborated paragraphs work best if, in the beginning, learners look at the work of others and consider how that work could be improved. The bare bones paragraph can come from any area of the curriculum. This can be done across all levels, again with an emphasis on I do, we do, before moving to you do. By providing learners with handy hints or clues as to how a paragraph could be elaborated is an activity that can be done across levels, adding capital letters and full stops at early level to improving the piece by adding appositives or adverbial phrases as we move through first and second level. As learners become more confident and experienced in elaborating a paragraph, they can begin to suggest their own improvements. The skills can then be transferred to looking at improving their own writing as part of the revising stage of the writing process. Pause the video here and, using the handy hints, take some time to elaborate the paragraph, just as we would ask the learners to do. Share your complete paragraph with the wider audience and continue when you are ready. From the bare bones paragraph that we started with, you might end up with something like this. You can see how it has improved as the learners followed the handy hints. You can ask more able learners to decide from themselves what sentence level skills they would use to improve the paragraph. As we come towards the end of today's session, we can take some time to think about the key learning. Hopefully you now have a clearer understanding as what is meant by a single paragraph outline and can see how it fits into our SBC Way writing skills progression. We've taken some time to become familiar with the writing paragraph's expectations within it. We've put ourselves in our learners' shoes and had a go at some of the scaffolded activities we can take back to the class to support our learners with paragraph writing. And for second level colleagues, we've had a quick introduction to the multiple paragraph outline, which can be used to support a more extended piece of writing. Finally, we've looked at how a bare bones paragraph can be used to support and encourage the use of sentence level skills to create a more extended, interesting piece of writing. Pause the video here and take some time to consider and reflect on the content of today's session. Has your understanding of single paragraph outline changed? And what impact might this have on your practice? What would be your 3 main takeaways from this session that you would try in your classroom tomorrow? So, what next? Join our SBC Way Showbie page where, in the near future, you will find some specially created SBC Way writing scaffolds to support writing in the classroom. They are based on the scaffolds and templates that you have seen here and in the writing guidance document, and can be used in Showbie with voice notes or text boxes for learners to develop their sentence level and paragraph outline skills. The next SBC Way Writing Professional Learning session will focus on that third and final part of our story of 3 parts in writing, developing independent and engaged writers and the writing process. This video interaction session is part of a new approach we are introducing in an attempt to support all schools and all practitioners across SBC to engage with the same message and activities, but at an individually convenient time. By providing video content with in-person facilitators in each school, whilst not the same as full live sessions, we can achieve widespread learning. Your feedback on how to maximise this approach is really valuable. So all that's left to say is thank you for your time today. Here's to making a difference to the lives and learning of our children and young people.